Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Family Office podcast, sharing insights across the industry. My name's Lisa Cornwell, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Gilles Erulin. I hope I didn't butcher that. Gilles, for nearly 30 years, was a top executive in a very well-known family, running the family office, and around 12 years ago created his own business, WMC. And WMC's tagline is, we're here to help families get things done. We support families in navigating extraordinary situations. So Gilles, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm fine. Hello, Lisa. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Pleased you're here. So let's start with looking at your journey into the family office industry. It's relatively uncommon to meet somebody who has almost 30 years of experience with a family office. So how did you get there?
Getting into the family office was kind of random, I would say. I got called one day by somebody who was a vague acquaintance and told me that a gentleman called Monsieur Pinault had just created a new holding company so he could step away from running his own business.
Was it called a family office when that discussion took place?
In those days, there was no such thing as a family office. This place was mainly an office with 5 people, a driver, a secretary, Monsieur Pinault, and actually his Directeur Général, Mrs. Barbizet.
Okay.
So it was a very small group of people, and there was no real plan at the time, but it was set up, and Monsieur Pinault needed somebody to empty his desk every morning.
Okay.
He was kind enough to hire me, and so that was my job description: empty Monsieur Pinault's desk every morning.
Which is fascinating as well when you think of hiring in a family office now, and a job description that you might see on LinkedIn. There might be a little more than just that one sentence, but I guess it encapsulates exactly what you needed to do.
Well, it said it all, and Monsieur Pinault didn't need anything more.
Yeah.
And I remember my employment contract was less than 1 page long.
Was it really?
It was signed at the bottom, and I was given 24 hours to accept.
Oh, wow. And accept you did?
And accept I did. And I joined a true leader, Monsieur Pinault, a very impressive leader who drove this family office and the whole Pinault business at the speed of thunder lightning for 30 years.
Incredible.
And so when I got in 1993, this was a $2 billion total portfolio. Yeah. And when I left, and there were 5 people in the office, and when I left 26 years later, it was a $50 billion portfolio and 50 people running the business.
I mean, it's an incredible journey, right?
Monsieur Pinault led an incredible journey, and we were lucky enough to be in the same elevator as he was, and we enjoyed every minute. It was dense, intense, uncompromising. Monsieur Pinault is a very strong leader who's got very solid vision and decision process, but delegates entirely. Which for a young guy, I was 33, was the most unbelievable world.
Yeah, what an opportunity.
And a world of opportunity where Monsieur Pinault, we would come to Monsieur Pinault, he would accept a project, and we would execute.
Yeah.
And come back only if we were moving away from the initial project.
Yeah. And I mean, it's hard to distill into a 10-minute podcast all of the things you must have learned during that period. But if you look back, and obviously without asking you to share anything sensitive, can you think of particular highlights or particular challenges that stood out? And then maybe we'll then thread that into what you're doing now.
I started progressively. I got a title which was called Head of M&A. Yeah. And so I started being the guy buying assets from Monsieur Pinault.
Yeah.
And we did successively 3, we call them friendly but unsolicited takeover bids on listed companies.
Right.
And the last one was Christie's, the auctioneer, which was a wonderful company. And Monsieur Pinault kind of initiated the process, but we led it as a very short team of people. And I discovered that delegation, trusting your people, giving the maximum flexibility to the people who were actually frontline, was a key element of success for Monsieur Pinault.
Yeah, it's a great learning.
And hopefully hopefully that's the way I continue running my business. But that's definitely what I learned first and foremost.
Yeah. So let's then change focus a little bit and talk about the business you set up. I think it was about 12 years ago, WMC.
So when Monsieur Pinault decided to somehow slow down, step back, and give the steering of the group to his son, Francois Henri, the one who currently runs Caring and was publicly very well known, the team of Monsieur Pinault, father, whom I was a part of, was progressively going to leave the business.
Yeah,
you're never the man of two generations in a family office, I would say, and so.
And just on that, can I ask, was it known in advance that would be the plan, or was it that changed when there was the handover?
Funny question, because 6 months after joining the family office, that was in 1993, Monsieur Pinault's father came to me and told me, Gilles, I just need to tell you that I'm going to pass this business to my son very, very soon, because it's time for him to run the family business.
Yeah.
And therefore you probably won't be there because you're never the man of two generations in a family.
Yeah.
And 26 years later, he did it. And so I thought I had a good run on this very short notice.
Yeah.
So it was not a surprise. It's a typical change of guard, change of ownership. It feels to me very natural and very normal.
Yeah.
And
sorry, can I just ask one more question?
Please.
In terms of your transition then out of the role, how was that quick, or did it take a long time?
I transitioned over 2 years and a half, because I was dealing with a limited group of kind of very hands-on matters.
Yeah.
I had stopped emptying Monsieur Pinault's desk every morning for a few years, and I had moved into what they call the intensive care unit, and I was running a called intensive care unit.
Okay.
So I had a few intensive care matters at the time.
I love the name of that, by the way.
I use, how do you call that in English? Intensive care unit, ICU. And and actually we had also worked in the Pinault family office. We had also worked to get connected with a group of other families with whom we did co-investment, discussed our portfolios. Very traditional evolution, speaking with other families with the view that would help us access to other deals. And when I started moving away from the Pinault family over those 3 years, some of the families came back to me and asked if I was planning to play golf for the remainder of my life, or if I would have a bit of time to do some intensive care unit for them.
And so, are you a golfer?
No, I'm not a golfer, which helped me decide very quickly what the choice was. And so I started moving into supporting other families when they had something which was out of their ordinary course. Out of ordinary course can be just anything. A lot of family offices are very well equipped to run the ordinary course of their lives. Investment, fixed term maturity bonds, etc. And a lot of things are done very properly. It's when something suddenly pops up or starts nagging the family that once in a while the team is not there.
Yeah.
I'll give you an illustration. Last year we supported a family which was selling its main asset, Gen 2, selling the family main asset.
Right.
With people who had a good understanding of the asset but had never done an M&A transaction in the United States.
Okay.
And so they just called us in to get that transaction done.
Yeah.
Very dedicated job. So we just came in. I took the lead of the transaction using the team, the analyst of the family office, and together we got this done. We had to change gear vis-a-vis the intensity of the process. This was a $1 billion company, so it could not be done lightheartedly. It had to be structured. We hired significant U.S. law firms. We got Goldman Sachs as one of the best banker we could find in this area, and we got it done. It took us nearly a year, but it got done.
Yeah.
And then we left, and so the family went back to business as usual.
Yeah. So you're a fractional support for the family office. You come in, help with a task, you leave again.
We get it done.
Yeah, you get it done. And so what other challenges are you seeing now? I mean, the family office industry as such has developed and grown hugely over the last 30 years. But are family offices still facing the same challenges when working with families? Are families still facing the same challenges? What do you see there?
I feel that the family office is both professionalizing, which is very good news, being recognized, which is also good news.
Yeah.
But I also feel they're under a new wave of pressure, which is for the corporate governance, which is applicable to the family office, is now deemed to be applying to the families.
Yeah.
So funny enough, the families are losing the privilege of being a family. And a family is a group of people who don't abide by rules, typically, or abide by some rules, or agree to abide some a limited number of them.
Yeah.
And this, I think it's important for the families to keep their unicity. Their unicity meaning not unity, which I'll come back to. Unicity meaning every family is different. They operate in a different mode.
Yeah.
And to recognize that corporate governance, the way the family office operates, needs to be properly ruled out and set up, but that the family has the right to be different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I find that families, this is acutely true in a transition we're seeing a lot of currently, which is Gen 1 to Gen 2.
Yeah.
A lot of founding fathers are now coming to elderly age or passing away.
Mm-hmm.
The transition is always however well prepared, always an interesting moment.
Yeah.
Because a large number of Gen 2 don't find themselves legitimate to run the assets they've inherited, or find it's difficult to establish that legitimacy. One of the things we do a lot is this transition moment where it's the former CEO of the father who's running the family office.
Yeah.
Sitting at the investment committee are the friends of the father, 75, 80 and 85-year-old.
Yeah.
And on Jani, 87.
Yeah.
And the children, I call them the children, sorry for the shortcut, but the children are 42, 45, 47.
Yeah. So not kids, right?
They're not kids, they're grown-up adults.
Yeah.
And they know what they want to do.
Yeah.
They've already talked among themselves how they view their family office.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to turn what was dad's family office into their family office.
Yeah.
That requires quite often a transition between the generation, the management team of the generation, and what is going to be the family office business as usual team.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're never the team of two generations in the family office.
Yeah. And it doesn't happen by accident, right? It's naive to think that day one there's a transition of the wealth, and then day two everything's running smoothly.
No, and we find actually that it's generally not a bad way to differentiate who's going to be your business as usual CEO.
Yeah.
Once you've resquared the family office to what you want it to be, your family office, versus and the old guard generation. Then I find that having a transition time in there is usually very beneficial.
Yeah.
Because it enables a clean slate for the business as usual guy who's going to come in.
Yeah. And I guess at that stage as well is where you sometimes will see a split then between family members deciding to no longer be together, or maybe within the first 2 to 5 years after there's a transfer of the wealth.
Yep. That's we see that a lot, and we're currently working on a family who is where a branch is leaving the other branch.
Yeah.
But they've done something quite good, which I like very much. They've decided that they're going to say united.
Yeah.
And that they're going to run this as a unified project and not as a blow, as an explosion of the family office.
Yeah.
And so we were brought in to actually support that unity project.
Okay.
Where one of the branches was going to take its share of the business, not the business of the economic assets. We're not in a position to do that one shot. It's going to probably take 3 years.
Yeah.
Because we want to do that in a way that doesn't harm the main family asset, by either over-leveraging, making distribution which would not be right, etc. And we actually came to a very good landing, and including the fact that we're creating a special annuity trust for this branch, which will ensure that they have ordinary cash flows coming out every year for the next, for eternity, from a locked asset of pot of money, which will protect their capacity to invest everything or else where they want to invest it in a kind of free
really
mode.
Smart. Yeah.
So it's a interesting landing point we reached.
Yeah, and I think it kind of reminds us that the back of a family office, at the back of these businesses, there is a family. It's not
always
anonymous shareholders, and that's why we love the industry, right? It's working with the families.
Yes, every family has. You get emotionally attached to every family you work with.
Yeah,
everyone is different, and each of them has a different way of attacking or tackling a problem.
Yeah,
and I would suggest that we would only work when we are supporting unity, not creating a mess. We will not come in to blow or to explode a family office or something like that. We've been invited once or twice to come and help somebody explode his family office and somehow deal with his siblings in a way which we felt was just inappropriate and not reflecting the spirit of family.
Yeah.
And we never go along on those. We find it counterintuitive.
Yeah. Well, Gilles, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and I could talk to you for the rest of the day, but conscious of time, maybe can I ask you one final question, which is if you had a tip or a thought for families, either in a transition phase with their family office or starting a new family office, what would your one kind of key tip be or key thought be?
I probably would have two. One for me is that unity is not a wishful thinking. Unity is a discipline.
Yeah.
And then the second one is that unity is quite often dull or boring, but disunion is extremely expensive.
It's very, very true. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a good day.
Thank you, Lisa. Have a good day yourself.
Thank you. Bye.